Every single talking head and every single Toronto Raptors talking head said, no, don't trade for Kevin Durant because Kevin Durant is 34 years old and it just won't work. The reason I think we should opt to trade for Kevin Durant is because roster that the Toronto Raptors have right now is really, really good. This roster right now is good enough to end up as a third seed in the Eastern Conference. Now, if they can get to third seed by themselves, imagine what happens if they get someone like Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant, even though he's 34 years old, is still averaging 30 plus points. The Raptors are 1 star away from contention. They are a Kawhi Leonard, a Kevin Durant, 1 star away from contending for a title, from being one of the favorites in the Eastern Conference. I think I'd favor them more than the Boston Celtics and the Philadelphia 76ers, and they would be up there with the Milwaukee Bucks. So that's my reasoning. That's why I want them to go for Kevin Durant, because Kevin Durant can help them win now. Now, either this year or next year, Kevin Durant would be able to help them get over that hump. And I, for one, would love to see the Toronto Raptors win another championship. I got this from their 2019 championship run, and it was one of the best times of my life. I'd love to see that again. I would love to see it as soon as possible. And I think there is a door, a path to that happening either this year or next year. There's a chance, and that's why I want them to go for Kevin Durant. Now, in the summer, I talked about how the Raptors should trade Pascal Siakam in a few picks for Kevin Durant, but after seeing how good Pascal Siakam has played for us this year and how integral he is to our success, I'd much rather keep him and have him play with Kevin Durant. So I've shifted my perspective and I've changed my offer. My prescription is this: the Toronto Raptors trade OG Anunoby, a first-round pick, a second-round pick, and even maybe, this is a maybe, don't come for me, this is a maybe even Gary Trent Jr. as well for Kevin Durant. And judging from how dried up the market was for Kevin Durant in the summer, I think that is a very, very good deal for the Brooklyn Nets, because not a lot of teams were willing to give up really anything for a 34-year-old Kevin Durant. This deal would be really good, and I don't really see a lot of teams competing with that offer except for the Lakers and the Knicks. The New York Knicks, just because they're the Knicks and they would give up a lot for Kevin Durant. The Los Angeles Lakers, because I think they're aware of the fact that Kevin Durant would be exactly what they need to get them back into contention for the title. And Rob Pelinka and the Los Angeles Lakers have been very stingy with the 2 first-round picks that they have. That is their saving grace. They're clinging on to those 2 first-round picks as if it is a life raft. I saw a report that the Lakers are waiting for a specific player in order to trade for, in order to give up those first-round picks for, because they could pull the trigger right now for Miles Turner and Buddy Hield, but they've chosen not to. Aside from that, I can't really see any other team really giving a good offer like the Toronto Raptors. Unless they mortgage away everything they have, I don't think teams are willing to do that for someone who's 34 years old. Especially teams that suck and have the draft capital. Those teams aren't willing to give up their draft capital for a 34-year-old Kevin Durant. Now, moving on to OG Anunoby. The reason I think the Toronto Raptors should give up OG Anunoby for Kevin Durant is because in the past, OG Anunoby has stated that he's not satisfied with his role with the Toronto Raptors and he would like to see a lot more on his plate. He's felt that the attention and priority is always given to Pascal Siakam and Scottie Barnes. And although OG Anunoby is a great asset for the Toronto Raptors, he brings a lot of defensive capability, and here and there sometimes he gives a lot of offensive output. There are some holes in his game that I have a problem with. Number one, although he is a great three-point shooter and he can give the Toronto Raptors some offensive output here and there, one aspect of his game that I think hinders the Toronto Raptors is that he takes way too many contested mid-range jumpers. And he isn't good at those shots, but he takes way too many of them. And that puts the Toronto Raptors sometimes at a disadvantage because those shots never go in and they rebound to the other team and the other team gets looks. It's not an efficient shot at all. I don't like that he does that, and watching him take those shots is just atrocious. And another thing is this: OG Anunoby has been with the Toronto Raptors for a while now, and it seems like we've been waiting an eternity for OG Anunoby to take that next step. He hasn't taken that next step. He's just a middle of the pack player. I think this might be as good as he gets with the Toronto Raptors. And I think that OG Anunoby still has high market value, and it would be wise for the Toronto Raptors to move off of him while his trade value is still high, especially for a guy like Kevin Durant. Guys, those are just my thoughts on the Kevin Durant sweepstakes being back on. If you like this kind of content, then this is the channel for you. So make sure to hit the subscribe button, leave a like, and until next time, kids.